في فيديو النهارده انا استضفت بول بارون وهيشارك معانا ازاي نستخدم الانفلونسرز او المشاهير ان هم يعلنوا عن المنتج بتاعنا وازاي نتواصل اصلا مع الانفلونسرز دول. وهيشارك برضو معانا حاجة مهمة جدا وهي ازاي نخلي العملاء اللي بيشتروا المنتج بتاعنا هم اللي يعلنوا عن المنتج بتاعنا بعد ما يشتروه. واخر حاجة هيتكلم فيها معانا هو ازاي نبني براند حقيقي على امازون ونجمع المعلومات عن العملاء اللي بيشتروا مننا، لان زي ما انتوا عارفين امازون مش بتدينا اي معلومات خالص عن العملاء بتوعنا. فمن الاخر عشان ما اطولش عليكم، فيديو النهارده فعلا فيه معلومات مهمه جدا واول مره تتقال في الوطن العربي. فلو عجبكم الفيديو ما تنسوش تعملوا لايك وشاركوا الفيديو ده مع اي حد ممكن يستفاد بيه واشتركوا في القناه، ويلا بينا. Welcome back on another amazing video. Today I'm hosting Paul Baron. He is a seven-figure Amazon seller, and today he will talk about using influencers to promote our Amazon products and what are the free sources for driving traffic to our Amazon listing. So, welcome, Paul. How are you?
I'm well. It's snowing over here. The kids are home. They're home a couple hours late because of the snow, so it's a little noisy. So I have to apologize if they're a little noisy in the background.
So, before we start, I would like to know, how did you start your Amazon journey and what is your advice for new people starting their Amazon business?
It's a great question, and it's one of those things I don't think about, or I don't talk about as much as I should. I really think that I should talk more about it, because when I started, we let's see, my son was just born, so he was just almost a year old, and I was trying to start a web development company during the day. I don't have a degree. I don't have a college degree. I grew up pretty poor, and I basically I'm just always been a self-starter. I've had to do everything. So I just mentioned it's snowing. So like on days like this when I was a kid, I'd go out and I'd shovel people's driveways to make money. I was always doing stuff like that. So when we started our business, I just had always had a knack for web, well, just marketing in general. And I had a job back in, I was hired in 2010, the year that I got married. And it was at a big company here, and I was making $30,000 a year, which for me, that was the most I'd ever made. Was fired from that job like 2 years later. Kind of went through a period of trying to figure myself out. And long story short, fast forward to 2015, I was, just a new father. My son is almost a year old. Well, when we first started, actually, the business, he was about 6 months old. But I remember those days because I was working all the time. I was working nights as a waiter because the day job doing the web development marketing thing, it just wasn't really paying the bills. I remember, I think the best month that we ever had, it was either $6,000 or $9,000 that we had made in that agency. And I was just like thinking, man, if we just get $10,000 a month, that'll be $120,000 a year. And then I could, quit serving tables. And along comes this opportunity. I remember watching a course, or the videos for one of the amazing courses, ASM 5. And I'm a proud student of ASM because it changed my life. And I remember watching those videos, and I thought, the promo videos, I thought it was a scam. At first I was thinking, they're telling you all these things that it just can't be true. And then thankfully, one of my friends was promoting the course as an affiliate. And if it wasn't for him promoting it and knowing that he was honest, and he told me, they, in December of 2014, they had sold $50,000 in revenue. And mind you, again, my background in this was I was doing local SEO, web development, web design for local businesses. And local businesses are lucky if they're making $250,000 a year, not a lot of money in the local market. So I was like, there's no way, that's insane. At 50 grand, like that's, and my brain immediately started going to like, I could quit my job. I don't need to have two jobs. So when I started, it was kind of out of desperation, and I didn't have any money. We didn't have enough money for the course. So I put it on a Discover card, which people have heard me say this, and there have been people that know my story, and I stopped, and I say this because it worked for us, because for me, it backed me into a corner. and I knew that I couldn't afford the course. I couldn't afford to fail, right? So when you get into a mindset position, like you have your success nutrition facts in the background and belief, there's so much in our life that is powered by belief. And if you get into a position where you believe that you're going to succeed, not you could succeed, but you will succeed, and you know that there is no other option but success, that is the plan B. For me, that was what I needed to get into. And um, long story short, yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
It was, I remember our very first sale, our very first day of sales, we sold 9 units.
Wow.
And I, I, thinking back on all the sales, we've had some amazing days, been the best seller in our category for a long time. We lost that because of some black hat attacks, but we're getting it back. And when you're the best seller in the category, I mean, our BSR was down to like 30 or something in baby. So you're talking like hundreds, like 400, 600 units a day, just a ton. But I always remember those 9 units. It's like the validation that all of these months of work, you're like, it works. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is working. This is crazy.
We made it. Yeah.
Yeah, we made it.
Yeah.
And I remember we made something like $8,000 our first month or something. Mind you, our best month ever in the agency was like $9,000. So I was like, geez, I'm already making as much as I've ever made. Obviously different story. Service industries, if you're the only employee, you're the only expense. This is very capital intensive business, especially now with shipping rates and IPI scores and all. There's a lot of moving parts that a lot of the sort of gurus that try to sell you this dream won't tell you. Thankfully, though, I was in a good community of entrepreneurs, and we were able to, somehow we're still alive. We're still selling.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And the most part of this business is new people start their Amazon business and see a lot of fake gurus saying you can start your Amazon business with just taking a product from Alibaba and sending it to Amazon, and Amazon will do all the job. And they start this to sell a product on Amazon and they fail. So
Right.
you made it from the scratch until you became a 7-figure Amazon seller. What is your advice for new sellers who are starting their Amazon journey, and some tips for them?
Yeah, nothing in life comes easy, and everything in life that is worth having is worth working for. So you have to remember that this isn't the easy thing that it honestly, 5, 6, 7 years ago was a lot easier. It's getting harder, but that means that only the ones that are willing to work hard are going to stick around. So if you're willing to work hard and you're willing to work it, then it will work for you. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is that you need to be perseverant. You can't take no for an answer. You have to work hard, and you have to be okay with failure. You're going to fail a lot, and every successful person fails a lot. And it's funny because every time I go through these cycles in my life, I remember, so when I was fired from that job, I felt like a failure. And not just was I feeling like a failure, I was identifying like I am a failure. There's something wrong with me. And there's a difference between failing and learning from your failures and then identifying as a failure. It's an internalized belief, right? If you internalize that belief that you yourself are a failure, that's really hard. It takes a supernatural thing or something to get you out of that. So you need to believe that you can succeed. You need to believe that you can do it. And you need to know that failures along the way, it's like I joke with my friends and my family, like, I don't lose games. I don't. I just have learning experiences, or I win. And that's how I kind of approach my life. Every now and again, I get into these like weird headspace moments where I get all negative Nancy and like, ooh, woe is me. But I think that's normal. And thankfully, I have good friends. Like you mentioned Tim earlier. Thankfully, I have good friends like Tim that kind of kick me in the ass and ask me why I'm throwing myself a pity party. But that's my advice. It's going to be hard. It's good. It will be worth it. You need to believe that you can succeed. And don't assume that anything good comes for free. You have to work for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So let's start right away. As you know, Amazon advertising is getting expensive each day. So what are the free sources to drive traffic to our Amazon listing?
So this is, I'm going to have to put this with a caveat. Again, nothing in life comes free, but it will be less expensive. And now we have always been a fan of building a list in general. Now, that being said, I haven't been the best at like monetizing my list. Like I remember we've had lists all the way up to 80,000 people on our email list. And the thing with building your list is you got to make sure that you continue to nurture those people. But um, I'm really good at connecting people. That's what I do naturally. I'm kind of a party thrower. Not really the thrower. I guess people throw the. I'm the guy that brings the people to the party and makes the party happen in real life, right? So how that translates into our business world is I know that everybody is doing something for their own reasons, right? You started your business for your reasons. I started my business for my reason. People buy my products for their reasons, not my reasons. So my goal as a business owner is to find out what those reasons are and create communities of people and help them achieve whatever goals they have setting. So the most inexpensive and the most affordable method of traffic is to build your own list. And what we have done in the past is very successfully is partner with influencers and partner with brand ambassadors to continually share our products across the web. Like for example, I mentioned we've had a black hat attack. So normally our sales this time of year, I mean, it's in the winter too. We sell summer products. So normally our sales are, I don't even know what they are. I haven't looked. I'd probably say a couple hundred, $300, $400, $500 a day, maybe 1,000. But we've been down because of that black hat attack. I think we've been about 300 on average. But the other day we had like a $2,500 day, and this wasn't on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. It was on Sunday, which was like, so what that tells me is that there's an influencer somewhere that sent a whole bunch of traffic, and I'm like, okay, who were you? And then that bled through onto Monday. We had a really good day on Monday, but Monday was also Cyber Monday. So that sort of stuff, like when you build a brand that people want to talk about, and that's what you have to do. It has to be something that people want to talk about, right? It can't just be you know, emailing a bunch of influencers, a bunch of copy paste emails to try to get them to do something for you, right? Think about that proposition. Whenever somebody tries to get you to do something for them and you've never met them, your immediate response is probably defensive, like, whoa, who are you? Right? I've never heard of you. Why are you asking me to do these things? But it's a different question if say your cousin comes up and they say, hey, can you help me with this thing? And you can say, of course I can help you because I love you. You're my cousin, right? And that's the environment that I try to create in our business, is a family environment where people want to work with us because they want to help us, because we're wanting to help them, right? We're helping each other. And so when we've worked with influencers and brand ambassadors, it's always been around helping them more than we help ourselves. And if you approach influencer relationships like that, you will win. So free traffic sources, your products. So you're already sending products to people, right? They're already opening your products. Not technically free, because you have to invest time and money and energy into the packaging, into the insert, that sort of thing, right? Again, it has to be something, your brand has to be something worth talking about. So for example, like this mug, right? There's mugs at every shop. I love this mug because this mug I bought with my wife when we were on an anniversary. It's a handmade pottery mug. That's completely different than a general mug that I would get to the store. So I talk about this mug because it has good memories, right? So there's a difference, even if you're selling mugs, right? Even if you're selling spatulas, you can be creative in how you're doing them, right? And how you market them. And you don't need to lie. You just need to be creative. And there's a lot of people that lie about stuff because they think they can't be creative. And I disagree. Being creative is just a muscle that you have to work to flex. And for me, it comes naturally because I was raised in a very creative household. My wife is a little bit harder for her, but yeah. So it has to be a brand that people want to talk about. Let's say you have an insert, you have a product, you have a great product that people want to talk about. A lot of people ignore the packaging. A lot of people don't think about what the experience is of the unboxing, or even on the insert, how you can invite people to join your community. And really, that's, again, going back to like this family environment that you're trying to create, that we try to create. If you invite people to join your community and you give something, offer something to them for free that they want, that will help them, then the likelihood of them joining your community is going to be infinitely better than if you never tried. And it's always worth trying. Even if you think that it may not work for you, you got to try. And so let's say you're like, okay, Paul, I hear you, inserts. People talk about inserts all the time. Most of the time, the inserts that I see are very poorly done. Most of the time, they're very like, register your product to join our VIP club. Okay, that might have worked when it was the first VIP club ever, but you have to think about it again from their perspective. What that says to me is, join our email list so we can spam you. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to join your VIP club. But if it was like, let's say for this pottery thing, join our VIP list so that we can send you a free gift on your birthday or something, or join our VIP list so that you get a lifetime warranty. So let's say, I have young kids. Let's say they break this mug. It's one of a kind. It would really suck. I would be very sad. But let's say that happened and they had a free repair service for our handmade mugs. I'd join for that reason. There's a lot of things that you can think about. Maybe there's a warranty. Maybe you're giving away a free, prizes every month. Maybe you're giving away something that, but the point is, it needs to be, let's say you think of one thing, one really good thing, then think of another really good thing, then think of another so I want at least 3 or 4 really good things that somebody would do it just for the one thing. But if you have all 3 things, all 4 things all lined up, and you have a good, effectively designed insert, the chances are people are going to register. They're going to take you up on your offer. If you have a product worth talking about, if you just have like some normal product that's like, man, I don't care, they're probably not going to read your insert, right? So that's one. That's a massive source of traffic. People ignore it. Most of the time they ignore it because they think it's hard. And it's really not. It's just trial and error. The hard part is keeping those people in communication. But really, as entrepreneurs, all of our skill sets build on each other. So once you've mastered one thing, you can add in another thing. And as you make more money, then you can hire people to help you. So I could talk about influencer marketing too, but all of this is like, it all connects in my brain because it's all about creating community. Because if we have a raving community of fans that love us, they will want to join our email list. They will want to become brand ambassadors. They will want to purchase more products because they love us as a brand. People think that, well, I can't do that. Apple does that. Well, that's stupid. Apple exists because there was one man that decided it should exist. Didn't happen overnight. The Apple that we see today is completely different, So if you want to be there, you need to set yourself on that trajectory and believe that you can do it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I used to collaborate with nano and micro influencers when I was doing private label on Shopify. And it was very good for me. The most important thing in influencer marketing that people are loving the influencer or the girl. So when she promote a very good standing product, they will trust her and go to the website and start purchasing. So how do you reach to the influencers and how do you make the deal with them? And the important thing, how to calculate the budget for this influencer, even it's a nano or micro influencer.
Okay, so the best way that we found is working with your people that purchase from you already is substantially easier than going out and finding people. So that's my first bit of advice. So incorporate what I was talking about with the insert. Get those people into a funnel of some kind. It could be Typeform, it could be Google Forms, it could be, if you have a WordPress site, it could be Gravity Forms. It could be all through SMS, right? Like I love ManyChat. You could have a ManyChat funnel. then you can offer them to be a part of your brand ambassador program. That's one thing that we do, and we've done it very, very successfully. Now, what we do with manual outreach, we have a whole SOP on this. I've been doing this for, I think, 6 or 7 years, and I didn't really think of it as nano and micro influencers at the time. I just thought of it as, on Instagram, there's a term called brand rep. And generally that applies to moms with kids, and the kids will rep products. Sometimes there's the people will rep products, but really what a brand rep is somebody who gets free products in exchange for posting content. That's what a brand rep is. So I didn't think influencers, because I thought influencers were people that you had to pay, and that you had to go and you pay them every single time they post, because we did that. And back in 2016, 2017, we had been on the Rachel Ray show, and we had gotten some good coverage in like Forbes magazine and these things. And so people were visiting our site, and they were looking us up online, and our social media was garbage. Like if you go to BB Little's hashtag, like our social media, scroll all the way to the beginning, it was so terrible. And I was like, this is a bad representation of who we are. So what I was trying to do is crowdsource content, right? So when we started reaching out to people, again, you have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to think, create community. That should be your goal. Create community, not just a one-off partnership, a long-term relationship, where think of it again like your cousin. You can call your cousin and say, hey, my water heater just broke. Can you come over and help me? People that would do stuff like that for you. Now, it's a bit of a stretch, going that far, but these are what we've developed over time is relationship with these women that my wife can call them. She has their numbers. They have her number. She talks about their kids. She knows when they're due. Like a lot of them have babies due. That she knows their name. She knows their kid's name. She knows their husband's name. She knows their birthdays. All these things. It's moved beyond a business relationship into a friendship relationship. So when you're approaching people, first and foremost, treat every person with respect, because every person is worthy of respect, right? Like there's only one you. Ever. There will never be another you. So that in alone is miraculous, that you exist. So you have something very specific, I believe, that only you can do. And so if I wanted to work with you, and I wanted to work together, and I could manipulate you, but nobody likes that. So if I wanted to work with you and you were an influencer, what I would do is I would figure out what is it that you want and how can I help you get that? And so if my business can become a vehicle for helping you get what you want, chances are, because I've helped you, you want to help me too. And that's just basic human psychology. It's the law of reciprocity. When I give something to people, the likelihood that they want to give something back is very high. Now, if I come to them and I'm asking them to give something to me, that's what most people get it wrong. Most people get it wrong, and they think, they go to the influencer and they say, hey, I want you to give this to me, which is essentially your time. They don't see, like, how long has it taken you to build your audience, your YouTube? It's been a lot of work, right? It would be probably insulting if you didn't know me and I came to you and I said, hey, can you promote this product for free? That would probably be insulting. And so you have to think about it like that the amount of work that these people have put into their channels is significant. So if you go to them and you ask them to give you something for free, you're not giving them anything in return. So one very great approach, just give something with no expectation of return. And that's where a lot of people fail. We've gotten a lot of great coverage just by being on social and seeing that somebody's in our niche, like swimming, right? We say, hey, my wife and I founded this company. I literally just did this yesterday on TikTok, like this exact thing. I was looking, because I was trying to figure out where this traffic came from. I was looking at all of our attribution reports, and none of the existing links are sending traffic. So none of our existing influencers are responsible for that massive bump in sales that we had on Sunday. So I'm like, where is this coming from? So then I start going to social. I go to Twitter and I'm looking up swim diapers and BB Littles and Bow and Bell Littles. And so then I start going down this rabbit hole of there's a lot of content. I didn't realize there was this much content on swim diapers, even though that's my business. So then I found this swim instructor who was doing a video, and she said, I recommend these types of swim diapers, which were our competitors. Now, I am a very competitive person. I love competition, right? So I'm the US men's team. I really hope they make it. Like whenever you watch this is Tuesday. They're supposed to play, and in 2.5 hours, I'm counting down. Like
Yeah.
I even blocked it out in my calendar so I can watch the game, right? I love competition. I love fair competition. I love beating people, and I love the challenge. And then we go out for drinks afterwards, right? And then we're buddies. I hate cheating competition. But that being said, so I see this lady promoting our competitors, and I'm like, that pisses me off. We are way better than them. We are way better than them. I know that we're better. We're the best in the industry. So I just comment and I say, hey, well, what about this brand? She replies, yeah, that would work too. And I said, hey, full disclosure, my wife and I founded this brand 6 years ago. I just said, my wife and I founded this brand. Can we send you some? Mind you, I didn't say, will you promote us? Completely different question, right? I asked, can we send you some? I'm not asking her to promote us. What I want her to do is I want her to see our stuff and realize that we're better, because when that happens, she will naturally promote us, right?
Yeah.
When she sees that we're better, she will start promoting us because we are better. She'll be like, why was I promoting these other ones? They're garbage. Like, they're good. I mean, they're fine products, but not like these. These are better. So do that. You really need to focus on your customers. You really need to focus on the quality of your products, and you really need to focus on giving more than receiving. Okay. So if you give more than you receive, Zig Ziglar says this, if you help, I'm going to butcher this quote, but basically it says something to the effect of, if you help enough people get what they want in life, you will have whatever you want. Now, it's a very weird concept, giving before receiving, but that's the point. You want to give, and that's the easiest way. Now, the rate of return may not be predictable. Maybe it's a 50-50, maybe it's 10%, but what's it going to cost you? Your time in your products, right? And that's a different request than going to people and saying, hey, I love your content. I've noticed that you posted about this. We'd like to have you post about our products. Can you do that? Because that's asking them to do something for you. You're starting with the wrong foot. If you say, hey, I love your content. I've seen you posting about this. Can we give you some? It's a different question. So that's how you do it. And that's how we did it. Again, the problem is most people don't want to do that because they're like, well, what if they don't post? Then they don't post. And you made somebody's day better. Maybe. Maybe they never use your product. I don't know. But just because some people do things that you don't like doesn't mean that you should be a bad person. And I think it's always better to be a good person and do the right thing, even when it's hard.
I'm a listener for this. Yeah. I really liked what you are saying. One of my products, you know that average engagement, average review rate on Amazon is about from 3 to 5%. Okay.
Mhm.
One of my products, without any black hat tactics, is exceeding about 13.5% review rate.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have the packaging and I have everything. The most things that made me to reach this number is I invested a lot of money in the packaging and product insert and the all brand identity and social media pages. I see a lot of reviews on my product. If the customer did see like anything wrong with my product, they don't say. They always say it's a great investment. I will talk about this product for my friends or family. I will let them know that this product is amazing and it's solving my problem. So you are totally right. Yeah. Investing in your brand identity will help you to make a brand list. Also, it will improve your brand identity and make your customer. It's all about how to engage your customer for your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. It's storytelling. People want to tell stories. People want to help people. Generally speaking, I would say they want their friends. They want to be the one that finds this cool product and then gives it to all their friends, right? Let's say that you all have experienced similar problems you just can't solve, and then one of your friends finds a way to solve that problem that you're all experiencing. Naturally, you as a friend want to help your other friends solve that problem. Therefore, you tell your friends. And that is the essence of influencer marketing. Every single person is an influencer. Every single person. every single one of your customers is an influencer. The problem and the disservice that influencer marketing as an industry has done is that they've relegated this idea that an influencer is somebody who twerks on the beach and, you know, takes selfies all the time, and it's all about them and it's their beautiful life and they have millions of followers. That's not an influencer, that's a narcissist. Okay? Like, yes, people follow that person because they're beautiful, but really that's not, I mean, how many, maybe they influence people, but really what I care about is the everyday person, because the everyday person is my customer. Having celebrities amplify that message is effective and it helps. But if I could get an army of 1,000 people with 100 followers, then that will be more effective in the long term than if I were to get somebody with 10,000 followers. Or no, that's 100,000.
Yeah.
If I get one person with 100,000, if I had 1,000 people with 100, that 1,000 people will outweigh this one. Because again, basic human psychology, what we're working with is the psychology of influence. And the psychology of influence is when there's a crowd, whatever that crowd, like just think whenever you're driving, right? And then there's somebody pulled over, everybody stops. You're like, what's going on? And then more people stop because there's other people stopping. There have been a lot of, I can't remember if this is in the book Influence by Robert Cialdini or Predictably, I think it's an Influence by Robert Cialdini. And he talks about how oftentimes if there's an accident, nobody will stop and help until one person stops and help. And the reason for that is that there's no social proof that that person needs help. So he says, if you are ever in an accident and you need help, hang on a second, my daughter. She's showing me that she has a candy cane. So let's say that you're in an accident. What you need to do is you need to wave your arms and say, I need help. And then when one person stops, other people will stop. So if you adapt that to what we're doing with social media, you think about, okay, let's say there's one person, they have a lot of followers. We don't know if those followers are real or fake, but we do know that if there's 1,000 people with 100 followers, who's going to buy 100 followers? Chances are every one of us has at least 100 friends that are on social media that are following us. Mm-hmm. So that's my goal, is to get those 1,000 people, because again, going back to my premise that every single person is worth respect regardless. Doesn't, like, I don't respect you more because you have more followers. I just like, wow, that guy spends a lot of, not you, but in general, the like the person that has like millions of followers, I'm like, wow, they've worked their ass off. Like, it's a lot of time. I don't respect you any differently as a person. I may respect the work that you've done differently, but that's not you. It's just your work. Anyway, so yeah, nano micro influencers, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Treat them with respect. Give them stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So in terms of validating an influencer, like how she has engagement rate, how many followers, demographics, and like that, what criteria do you want to see in influencer in able to collaborate with her or him?
Genuine followers and real engagement. That's what I want to see. I want to see something. Then if we want to go a step further, then I would look at the quality of the content, if it's on brand for us, obviously. So let's say genuine followers and real engagement in the automotive industry doesn't work for us because we don't sell car parts, right? But genuine followers and real engagement in the baby industry, that works for us, especially if it's a, you know, like most of our customers are moms. And so that's the type of person that I'm looking for. So first and foremost, I'm looking for a person that we have an ideal customer persona named Kristen. We named her Kristen because we have a customer named Kristen who has purchased every single product we sell because she loves us. She loves what we do, and I love her for loving us. So I want 1,000 Kristens. If I can get 1,000 Kristens, we will be set for life. So that's what I look for. People that are in our ideal customer persona group that reflect the values of us as a company and the values of our consumers, our community. And then I want real, genuine engagement. Now we at our agency, and our brand, we just got access to the beta. There's a closed beta of Instagram Creator Marketplace, which makes this a lot easier, so much easier. Like, we can see who's lying about their followers and who's not based on the engagement from what parts of the world they're getting. So I know that, let's say somebody based in LA, a white girl based in LA, the likelihood that she's going to have a huge following of Indonesian, Pakistani, and Indian people without paying for that is probably pretty low. Maybe it's not, maybe I'm wrong, but I just know that generally speaking, when you pay for engagement, it comes from that area in the world, right? And so when I look, so using Instagram Creator Marketplace, I can see that. The other thing, if you don't have access to, you can just look at the post, and you can just even look at who's liking it. You can see who liked it. You can look at the profiles who liked it. You can look at the followers of the people. It takes a lot more work this way. Yeah, the other way you can do this is look at the comments. I want more comments than likes. And what are the comments saying? Does it look like it could be done by a bot? Does it look programmatic? Or is it like sentences? I want sentences. I want people posting content that creates conversation, because I want people to create a buzz about our brand. So that's what we look for. We look for ideal customer persona, and we look for engagement. I don't necessarily care about follower count. I don't necessarily care about the quality, like the photo quality, right?
Yeah.
That's just me.
Is posting a story on Instagram with a video, the influencer saying a call to action to go to the website, or reels, or post with a tag for your social media pages? Which one did that work for you?
Well, that's a good question. So I want it all. Obviously the stories you can provide a link in the story. Thankfully, I don't know why. And remember that a few years ago, I don't know if you remember this, but like you had to be like 10,000 followers before you could put a link in. And then it was like the swipe up link. Then they just changed it. I thought that was one of the dumbest things about Instagram. And I still think it's one of the stupidest things, that in the comments, you can't provide a link. I mean, I get it. I get why Instagram is doing that, because they want people to stay on the platform. But you're already teasing us with a link in the story. Why can't you also just make your post linkable? Like, if you want people to move, if you want businesses to move from TikTok, just do that. But what we're seeing that's working on Instagram. So we work with creators on TikTok and creators on Instagram. Instagram and TikTok are two different things. TikTok is very similar to old Instagram in that it's just a link in bio, same type of thing. So if we're looking for, like, I guess, trackable results, the story makes the most sense. But again, like when we're asking people to post for us now, so I'd gone, let's say you go from, hey, can I send you stuff? They say, yes, you can. Then they start posting about it. What you want to do is, be eternally thankful. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's amazing. Would you like to talk about maybe working together more? We can give you commission, or what would you like? Ask that. What would you like? Instead of saying, we want to give you some money. Maybe they don't want money. Maybe they just want to help you. So you just say, we'd like to work with you some more. We love what you did. What would you like? Is it okay if we give you some money for the post that you made, or something like you drove this much sales, or something along those lines, if you're tracking that, right? Likelihood that you're tracking that when it's just an initial post is pretty hard, because like I said, with what happened with us the other day, unless it's an attribution link, I don't know where the traffic's coming from, right? So the stories are great for driving traffic. Those are very effective. Reels are really great right now for creating engagement. They're the most, like, the algorithmically, Instagram is pushing that the most, and good creators on Instagram know that. Posts are just standard posts are great just for getting a library of user generated content. And whenever anybody posts about us, if it's a really good piece of content, so let's say we have the levels of relationship, I guess we'll call it. So like, let's say you've seen them, you ask them, hey, can I give you some things? They say yes. That's just like an acquaintance that you met and you got their number and, you know, hey, we might hang out again. Like, let's say you're out with your friends and you meet somebody who you just gel with. Doesn't need to be the opposite sex, could be the same, you know, whatever. You just feel like, hey, you're a cool person, I want to hang out again. Them saying, yeah, let's hang out, that's like them saying, yes, you can give me some products. That doesn't mean that you're going to be best friends, right? Friendships are built over time. So as your relationship develops with this creator, this influencer, this person, and then you can begin to integrate more business into the relationship. And again, you're thinking this, it's hard because you're doing this for business. That's why you're doing it, right? But you also need to think, how can I do this for business and not be a douchebag? How can I do this for Instagram and be a nice person and not use people? Because a lot of these people are used to being used. They're used to being treated like they're just some commodity that you pay them money and traffic comes out. Like, that's just not a good feeling. So let's say that we've worked with somebody for a long time. So case in point, we have our brand ambassadors. That there's a group of our brand ambassadors that we've worked with for like 6 years, some of them. Some of them have just been on for a few months. But the point is, we have this evergreen flywheel where we're always getting new brand ambassadors to apply. That's the other secret. Get people to apply to join. If they apply, it's a different thing because they're asking you if they can join to promote your products. It is different than you asking them if they want to join and promote your products. So it's completely different.
Yeah, one-on-one level, yeah.
It's a completely different psychological trigger, right? If you come to me and I have a program and you apply for my program, you're wanting to get in. You're already invested because of your time. Maybe some programs have money involvement that you have to pay money to join. So just think about, all this comes down to is basic human psychology and understanding people. And that's what marketing is. It's understanding how people work and working with people to help point them in the direction that you want them to go. I prefer to see it as an altruistic, you can do this with good intentions, but you can obviously do this very nefariously in black hat. So we have the group of brand ambassadors that we worked with for like 6 years. We can go to those women. We could go to those women today and say, hey, ladies, we would really love it if you guys could post some videos like on these products with these talking points. Could you do that before the end of Christmas? We would get a bunch of yeses. Again, you have to think in friendship terms. If that's all you did and all you did was ask them to do things, ask them to do things, ask them to do things, and you never gave anything back in return, it would feel very tiring. So in our community, we're always giving them things. For any new products that come out, we always give them to them. Even stuff like, we get so many returns that aren't our products. Like we got a baby carrier once that was like $150, $200 baby carrier. And we did a contest that we gave the carrier away, because you saw my daughter, like she's not a baby anymore. We don't need it. Right. So, I mean, I'm looking outside and we have a stroller, like a $400 stroller that we tried to sell on Marketplace. It's used. Maybe we could give that away. I don't know. But the point is, you want to give. Okay. So we have these relationships. The more that you ask people, the more that you work with people, the more easy it is for you to work with them. So again, that's why I think that if there are people that are listening to this or watching this podcast that have tried influencer marketing and they're like, it just doesn't work. Well, that's because you did it wrong. You know, trying to fix a car with a hammer, well, of course it's not going to work. Like, you need the right tools. If you go to a car and you try to change a spark plug with a hammer, it's not going to work, because it's not what a hammer is made for. You have to have the right tools. So going in with the right expectations and understanding that influencer marketing, creator marketing, I would prefer to call it influence marketing and creator marketing, because the people that you're working have influence and they are creators and they create things. And we want to work with people that create, because I don't have the time to create. I don't have babies anymore. And again, you could go to my Instagram page for our business and you could see when I was creating, the level of quality content was garbage versus the level of the quality of content that we have now with our team, our community. It's so good because those women are amazing. You take great photos, great videos. Awesome. So find people, be friendly, nurture those relationships, give more than you take. And then when you have questions and you need help, they're going to help you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Before we end this amazing call, for the people who don't know about Amazon attribution or pixel for websites, how can people track the performance of a collaboration with an influencer in an Amazon listing or their website?
So I love PixelMe. I have been using PixelMe. So it's pixelme.me. There was a company called PixelFyMe. And I remember PixelFyMe came after PixelMe, and PixelFyMe did like the super URLs. And so for a while, there were a bunch of people talking about PixelFyMe, and I literally thought they were saying it wrong. I've been using PixelMe for since 2017, and it just so happened that Carbon 6 bought them, I think, 2 years ago, year and a half, something like that. And so if you guys don't know what Carbon 6 is a super cool company. They are acquiring the best softwares in the industry and then making them work together, making them work better for Amazon. So what PixelMe does now is it makes setting up Amazon attribution links very easy, as well as,
Okay.
sorry.
No problem.
I am still on the call. I love you. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Kids are home from school today. Okay, so come back. PixelMe. What PixelMe does is it makes setting up Amazon attribution links very easy. It makes tracking those clicks a lot easier. Also, if you have, say, I am a real fan of short URLs for pretty links. So let's say that your brand is handmadecoffeecups.com. Let's say that's what it is, handmadecoffeecups.com. I would do like a short link, like handmade coffee, or maybe it's handmade coffee, whatever. I would want to have a short, memorable URL that as short as possible, like hmc.life, hmc.life, or hmc.live, or hmc.club. All those top level domains, .club, .life, you could put that into PixelMe and have that be the redirect. So I'd say, for influencers, for example, you say, go to hmc.life/Paul Barron for your exclusive Black Friday discount, or something like that. Right? It's a lot easier to remember than go to handmadecoffeecups.com/Paul Barron. That's a lot to remember. So I want it to be simple. PixelMe does that. The other thing that it does is it allows you to pixel people. I feel like this is it is a pitch for PixelMe, I guess. I just love it because you can pixel people with like a Facebook pixel, a YouTube pixel, a Facebook and Instagram are the same, but TikTok, like literally wherever you advertise, you can pixel them for retargeting on like later times. So let's say that they go to your link and they don't purchase. Well, then if you have the capabilities to retarget them, which getting started, you probably don't. Maybe you do if you have a background in digital marketing. But as you grow your business, like that's an essential thing that you need to do. Then you can retarget them on other platforms. It's amazing. So I love that. And then it automatically creates an Amazon attribution link, which you can do manually. You don't need to buy PixelMe. I think they have like a free month, or they're doing, I don't know if their Black Friday still on. But you don't need to buy PixelMe. You can go to just Amazon attribution. It's if you're brand registered, you have access to this. And what Amazon attribution is you can create a link. Now the thing with that is that it's a really ugly link. So let's say you don't want to use PixelMe, you can use Bitly, and you just want to do it free. Or let's say you have a website and you do Shopify, you can create a redirect in Shopify. You put that URL. So let's say you do a social promo code, put that link as the end link in attribution, and then you get the attribution link, put that into Shopify, redirect it, right? So what that does, that shows you all the clicks. So the clicks to the link shows you the detail page views, shows you the adds to cart, shows you the purchases. So a click does not equal a detail page view technically, unless you're taking them directly to the detail page. So let's say you're taking them to a storefront page, you can get a link click, but not a detail page view. That shows you that your traffic may not be interested. Now, that's super cool. I love it. The problem with that is it only tells part of the story. Because how influencer marketing works, how creator marketing on social works, is think about it. Again, you're talking with your friends. You've been drinking coffee out of your hands for your entire life. And you're like, hey guys, I found this great new invention. It's called a coffee cup. We don't need to drink coffee out of our hands anymore. And your friends are like, ooh, that's great. Unless you're like, you know, say, this is where it is, you know, go buy them now. Maybe they're not going to do it. Maybe they're like, you know, whatever, like not in the mood to buy. They'll probably remember, what was the thing called? Like a coffee, it was like a cup, coffee cup. So they go to Amazon, coffee cup. And let's say that you have a brand name, Handmade Coffee Cups. And that's your, I mean, that's a terrible brand name because handmade is just a description. But let's say it's like Handmade Coffee Cups by Paul. What you're going to see when you have influencers and creators do this thing and they've never heard of your product before, they're most likely going to be typing your name into the Amazon search. Most likely they're not, they might click the link. So you're going to see a lot of traffic, not a lot of purchases. Because what happens is they're during social, they're on TikTok when they're in the bathroom, or they're in the subway, or they're riding to work, or they're doing something, right? They're on social, but the likelihood that they're going to buy right away is not very high. What is very likely is that they're going to look at your product and decide, I'll save that for later. I might get that. Most likely they won't even hit save for later. I know some people, they'll text themselves a link, or they'll copy the link and then they'll open it in their web browser on their phone. But generally what happens is they'll open it and then close it and go back to browsing TikTok. So what you want to do is you want to have really good branding so that when people remember, like, oh, you know what? I need those coffee cups. What's their name again? Coffee, Handmade by Paul or whatever. Then they're going to go to Amazon, and what you're going to see, so Amazon attribution tells a portion of the story. They show you the traffic side. You might get some conversions if you get the weirdos that are like, I'm going to buy that right now. Most people don't. But what you will see is your keyword ranking will get better. You will see increased sales. BSR will get better. But generally speaking, you're going to have a lot more branded search terms. And so coming back to the original part of what we were talking about, we're at the start of this call, branding and storytelling, creating a product worth telling a story about, right? If you're to tell a story about handmade coffee mugs, that's a cool thing, but it's not tied to any brand. But if it was like Allure coffee mugs or Paul Barron's custom made coffee mugs, something that gives it a brand name, right? Something that identifies it as separate from all the other handmade mugs, that is your brand. So you're going to see your branded search go up. And you see that in your search terms report, in brand analytics. And that's what we generally see is that over time, as you start doing this is brand marketing. It's not performance marketing. It can be performance. You track it with performance. You track its performance, but this is brand marketing. What you're doing is you're growing your brand. And growing your brand is a long-term play that results in your growth of your company year over year, while you're doing all the things, the other things, the sponsored products, while you're doing your normal marketing stuff, all of those things, what you're doing is you're investing in the future, and it makes the cost of your advertising cheaper. It makes it easier to launch products because people know about your brand. You know, think about Apple. When they launch products, do they do discounts? No, they don't. They discount their prior products because they want to get rid of those so they can sell the new ones, but they never do a discount on their new products. Why? Because they have a solid brand and people want that brand. So that should be the goal. You want to build your brand so that when people buy your products, like what you're doing with your 13% review rate, that's awesome. Like all you need. So the story that I would continue to tell with that is like, hey guys, we are an industry leading, like everybody loves us. Tell that story. Everybody loves us. I started this because, you know, here's my story. I grew up, yada, yada, yada. You know, I did this thing and then now I'm doing this thing and I'm helping people like you. And now we can blah, blah, you know, like that sort of thing. It's a very, I said thing a lot. I just realized. But my point is brand marketing pays off in the long term. It's not a short-term investment. You will see initial payoffs in the, like your review rates are going to go up. But that's where you look at. So attribution tells detail page views. It tells you clicks. It tells you adds to cart. It tells you purchases. The other things that you need to look at are your bestseller rank. A lot of people like Tim, he's like, man, I don't like BSR. I like BSR because it's a floating barometer of how our products are doing in the industry, right? So if I know a slump in sales, if I see a slump in sales and our BSR gets worse, then that means that there's something going on. If I see a slump in sales, but our BSR stays the same, that means that the entire category is down. If I see a slump in sales, but our BSR gets better, that means that the category is going down, but we're making more money while the category is going down. So those are the reasons why I track those things. And you can track those with like Helium 10, I like Manage by Stats. I prefer that. ZonGuru is really good too. I love ZonGuru. Seller Tools, there's a whole host of things that you can use, you know.
Today's call is one of the most coolest videos that I have ever made. Yeah, I really enjoyed the call. And
was it because I talked about soccer or football?
I will end this call and go to watch the match. So how can people reach to you?
Yeah, well, you can find us on the web. My company is called Influx Catalysts. We're formerly the Chat Agency, so if that's easier for you to type, thechatagency.com, you can find me there. We build out influencer marketing programs for people. We do brand ambassador programs for some people. Most people are not in the right stage to work with us. Generally speaking, in the Amazon space, we work with about probably the top 2 to 5%. But that's what we do. And you can find me on Instagram. If you want to follow me personally, you'll see a bunch of kid photos and family things, but it's Mr. Barron on Instagram.
Paul, I really enjoyed the call today. You have shared a lot of golden nuggets. So I really want to hang again in another video. For sure, people will love this call. So thank you for joining me today and have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.